It was one of those London evenings when the sky can't decide whether to rain or cry. I sat by the window of my tiny flat, the city lights reflecting off the wet glass, watching strangers rush past with umbrellas and tired faces. The world kept moving, but I'd stopped long ago. You see, once upon a time I had everything: laughter in the house, a son who called me Mum with love, and a reason to wake up every morning. Daniel was my whole world. My pride, my heartbeat, my only family. From scraped knees to broken hearts, I'd been there for him. But life, it changes people. Slowly, quietly, cruelly. The boy who once held my hand now found excuses not to visit. Busy at work, Mom. Got meetings, Mom. Until one day there were no more calls, no more birthdays, no more love you, Mom. Just silence. People told me he'd come back. They always do, don't they? But months turned into years, and all I had left were old photos and a worn jumper that still smelled like him. Sometimes when the night gets too quiet, I imagine him knocking at my door again, smiling like he used to. But he never does. The world outside hums with life, and I sit here, forgotten by the one person I loved most. I thought my story was over, but fate had something wickedly different in mind. He was about to remember me in a way he never imagined. The days that followed were a blur of empty routines. Making tea for one, watching the telly with no one to talk to, pretending I was fine when I clearly wasn't. London is funny like that, so full of people, yet so damn lonely. One Saturday, after weeks of staying in, I forced myself out. Go on, love, I told myself. You can't hide forever. I slipped into my old gray coat, the one Daniel used to tease me about, and headed towards Oxford Street. The air was crisp, the sky that dull London gray that never quite turns blue. I stopped outside a shop window and saw my reflection. Tired eyes, messy hair, a woman time had quietly forgotten. I sighed, adjusted my scarf, and went in. I just picked up a box of tea bags when I heard it. A laugh. Sharp, familiar, impossible to mistake. My heart stuttered. I turned and there he was. Daniel. My son. My baby. Except he wasn't a baby anymore. He looked like a proper gentleman, suit, watch, the whole thing. And next to him was a woman, young and polished, her arm looped through his. I froze. For a moment I thought he'd see me. But he didn't. His eyes slid right past me like I wasn't even there. I whispered, Daniel. But the word dissolved before it reached him. He walked away laughing, not once turning back. Something broke inside me that day. Quietly, cleanly, like glass underfoot. And as I stood there, heart splintered and forgotten, one thought hit me harder than the cold London wind. If he could forget me, the whole bloody world would remember me. That night, London felt colder than usual. The kind of cold that crawls under your skin and stays there. I sat on the edge of my bed, staring at the city lights blinking through the rain-streaked window, and replayed that moment over and over again. His face, his laugh, the way he walked past me like I was nothing. My hands wouldn't stop shaking. I'd given that boy everything, every bloody thing, and he couldn't even look me in the eye. My chest hurt, proper hurt, like someone had reached in and torn something out. I pressed my hands against my heart, whispering, It's all right, love. You'll be fine. But I wasn't fine. I was broken in ways I didn't even know existed. At some point I dragged myself to the kitchen, made a cup of tea I didn't really want, and stared at the steam curling into the air. The flat was so quiet I could hear my own breathing. Then, out of nowhere, a memory hit me. Daniel at 6 years old drawing a picture of us together. You're my hero, Mom, he'd said. I laughed bitterly. Heroes don't end up alone, do they? I walked to the mirror, looked at the tired woman staring back, and something inside me shifted. Maybe I'd spent too long being someone's mom, someone's shadow. Maybe it was time to be someone again. Not for him, but for me. I wiped my tears, straightened my shoulders, and whispered, No more crying, love. Not tonight. Because the next morning fate decided to knock. And this time I bloody answered. The next morning I woke up before the sun, though I'd barely slept. My eyes were swollen, but my heart felt strangely light, like it had finally stopped fighting what was already gone. I brewed myself a proper strong cup of tea, 2 sugars, just how I like it. And for the first time in years, I opened the curtains wide. The city was alive again, buses roaring, people rushing, life moving. Maybe it was time I moved with it. I grabbed my old bag, wrapped my scarf tight, and stepped outside. The air bit at my cheeks, but it felt good real. I wandered down to the little cafe on the corner. Patel's place. The smell of toasted bread and fresh coffee hit me like a hug. Mr. Patel smiled the moment he saw me. "Morning, Miss Linda. Haven't seen you in yonks." I smiled back. "Been keeping quiet, that's all." I sat near the window watching people go by, wondering how everyone seemed to have somewhere to be. Then my eyes caught something. A bright yellow flyer pinned on the notice board. "Local Voices Wanted. Share your story night." For a moment I just stared at it. My story? Who'd want to hear that? But something tugged inside me. Maybe people didn't need perfection. Maybe they needed truth. I tore the flyer down, folded it, and tucked it into my bag. As I left the cafe, the cold wind whipped through my hair. And for the first time in a long while, I smiled. Maybe life was giving me another chance. Not as someone's mom, but as me. I didn't know it yet. But that single flyer was the beginning of everything. For the next few days, that yellow flyer stayed on my kitchen table like a dare I wasn't brave enough to take. Every time I made tea or walked past it, my eyes drifted to the words, "Share your story night. Everyone has a voice." I kept telling myself, "It's silly, Linda. You've nothing worth sharing." But deep down I knew that wasn't true. I had pain, loss, love, the kind that leaves marks no one sees. Maybe that was worth something after all. On Friday evening I finally caved. I sat at the table with an old notebook, the one Daniel had given me years ago for Mother's Day. The pages were still blank, except for a little doodle on the first page. A crooked heart and the words for Mom, the strongest woman I know. My throat tightened. I took a deep breath and started writing. Every word felt like tearing open an old wound, but somehow it also felt healing. I wrote about being forgotten, about how love can turn to silence, and how silence can break you. By the time I stopped, the notebook was filled with my life. Messy, raw, real. Saturday night came faster than I'd expected. I stood in front of the mirror, wearing the same coat from that awful day on Oxford Street. Maybe this time it would bring me luck. My hand shook as I held the paper, heart pounding like mad. "You can do this, love," I whispered. "You've survived worse." I grabbed my bag, stepped into the London night, and headed for the cafe where it all began. I had no idea the crowd waiting inside would change everything forever. When I reached the cafe that night, the air inside was buzzing. Fairy lights dangled from the ceiling, soft jazz played in the background, and the smell of coffee wrapped around everyone like a blanket. A tiny stage stood at the front, just a mic, a stool, and a flickering sign that read "Local Voices." My knees felt weak. What was I even doing here? I almost turned back, but Mr. Patel spotted me. "You made it, Miss Linda," he said, grinning. "Told you everyone's got a story in it." I smiled nervously, clutching my notebook like it might save me. One by one, people went up, students, poets, even a cheeky bloke who told funny stories about the tube. The crowd laughed, clapped, drank. Then the host called my name. "Next up, Linda Dawson." My heart dropped. The room blurred for a second. I walked up, somehow each step heavier than the last. The mic felt colder than I expected. I cleared my throat. "Good evening," I said, my voice barely holding steady. I haven't done this before." A few kind smiles in the crowd encouraged me. I took a breath and began reading. I spoke about motherhood, love, and loss. How it feels when your child forgets your face, your voice, your existence. As I spoke, the cafe grew quiet. No whispers, no movement. Just silence and eyes glistening in the dim light. I felt my heart open in front of strangers who suddenly didn't feel like strangers at all. When I finished, the room erupted in applause. I stood frozen, stunned. And that's when a young girl near the front whispered, "Someone needs to film her. People have to hear this." I didn't even notice her filming. The girl in the front row, the one with the red jumper and kind eyes. She had her phone out, recording every word. I didn't think much of it at the time. I was too busy trying to stop my hands from shaking as I left the stage. Mr. Patel handed me a cup of tea and said, "Well done, love. You've got something special, you have." I smiled weakly, still trying to believe the applause had been real. For the first time in years, someone had listened. That night, back home, I slipped off my coat and sat on the sofa. My phone buzzed, a message from an unknown number. "You were incredible tonight. Check TikTok." I frowned, confused. TikTok? I could barely handle WhatsApp. I clicked the link anyway. And there I was. My voice. My story. Playing on a tiny screen surrounded by hearts, likes, and comments flying faster than I could read. This broke me. Reminds me of my mom. Someone give her a podcast. My hands trembled again, but not from sadness this time. Within hours, the video had thousands of views. By morning, hundreds of thousands. The cafe called me back the next day. Linda, love, the BBC wants to talk to you. I laughed out loud, actually laughed. Me? The woman no one saw on Oxford Street? The forgotten mom? I didn't understand what was happening, but it felt like the universe had finally turned its face toward me. And as I sat there reading comment after comment from strangers calling me Mum of the Internet, I realized something wild. The world was finally listening, even if my own son wasn't. By Monday morning, my face was everywhere. It was surreal. The same streets where I'd once walked invisible now seemed to whisper my name. That's her, in it? The mum from the video. I'd hear little murmurs as I passed. My phone wouldn't stop buzzing, messages, emails, interview requests, people tagging me on social media I didn't even know I had. A journalist from The Guardian called, then a producer from BBC Radio. They all said the same thing. Your story touched the nation. I couldn't quite wrap my head around it. When I sat down for my first interview, my palms were sweating. The young host smiled warmly. Linda, love, the whole country's fallen for you. How does it feel? I laughed nervously. Strange. I'm just a mum who told her truth. The studio went quiet. Then she said, that's exactly why it worked. Back home, my neighbor knocked on the door with flowers. Proud of you, darling. You've given hope to so many of us. I stood there speechless, holding the bouquet like it was proof I existed. Every day brought something new: TV spots, podcast invitations, even letters from people saying my words helped them forgive, heal, move on. The world that once felt too big and cold suddenly felt small, warm, full of hearts beating for me. But in the middle of all that noise, one silence still hurt. I kept waiting, hoping that somewhere out there Daniel had seen it too. Maybe he'd recognize my voice, my words, me. Yet no call came. Not a single message. Until one night when my phone finally rang, and the name flashing on the screen made my breath stop cold. For a second, I thought my eyes were tricking me. The name on the screen, Daniel. My fingers hovered above the phone, trembling. My heart pounded so loudly I could barely hear the ringtone. After all these years, this was how it happened. Not a knock on the door, not a letter. Just a glowing screen and a digital ring. I answered, my voice barely a whisper. Hello. There was silence. Then a breath. Mum. His voice, older now, deeper, but still the same boy I used to sing to sleep. I felt something inside me crumble. Daniel. I breathed, tears already spilling. He hesitated. I saw your video. I didn't know what to say. His voice cracked on the last word. I wanted to scream, to ask where he'd been when I needed him most, but all I could manage was, you found your voice now. He sighed. I'm sorry, Mom. I thought you'd be better off without me. I made mistakes. And when Dad left, I blamed you. I was angry. But hearing you speak, his breath caught. It broke me. For a moment, neither of us spoke. The distance between us wasn't just miles, it was years. All the birthdays, Christmases, and nights I cried into an empty pillow. And now here we were, held together by static and regret. I don't know if I deserve to see you, he whispered. My tears hit the floor. Come home, Daniel. Just come home. He didn't answer straight away. Just soft breathing and then, tomorrow. I'll come tomorrow. When the line went dead, I sat in silence, heart racing. But something told me tomorrow wouldn't be as simple as it sounded. I spent the entire morning pacing. Every tick of the clock sounded louder than the last. I made tea, then forgot to drink it. I laid out biscuits, then changed the plate 3 times. My hands wouldn't stop shaking. What do you even say to your son after years of silence? Hello, love felt too small. Where were you? Felt too cruel. When the knock finally came, I froze. My breath caught in my throat. I opened the door, and there he was. Daniel. Older, taller, sharper around the edges, but still my boy. For a moment, we just stared at each other. Then he smiled awkwardly. Hey, Mom. I wanted to throw my arms around him, to hold him so tight the years would vanish. But something in his eyes stopped me. Guilt. Distance. Maybe both. Come in, love, I said softly. He stepped inside, looking around like a stranger. The same house, same worn sofa, same faded photos on the wall. Yet everything felt new, fragile. We sat across from each other, tea between us like a peace offering. "You look good," I said. "So do you," he lied. There were long pauses, little smiles that didn't reach our eyes. He told me about his job, his flat, a girl he'd been seeing. I nodded, pretending I wasn't breaking inside. Finally, I asked, "Why now, Daniel?" He looked down at his cup. "Because the world knows your story now, Mom. And I couldn't hide from it anymore." The words stung sharp as glass. For all the love in his voice, there was something else too. Something I couldn't quite name. And deep down I felt it. This reunion wasn't healing us. It was reopening everything I'd buried. That night, after he left, the house felt heavier somehow. His scent still lingered, that faint mix of cologne and city air. But the warmth I'd hoped for never came. Something about the way he spoke didn't sit right. Too careful. Too polite. Like every word had been rehearsed. The next morning he came by again. "Thought I'd take you out for lunch, Mom," he said, forcing a grin. My heart fluttered anyway. "Oh, Daniel, that'd be lovely." We went to a small place near Covent Garden, the kind we used to visit when he was little. He ordered for both of us, charming the waitress with that same cheeky smile he had as a boy. For a moment it almost felt normal, until his tone changed. "So, Mom, your videos are doing really well, yeah?" he said, stirring his coffee. I nodded cautiously. "They've brought a lot of people together. I never expected all this." He leaned back, eyes narrowing just slightly. "You've made a bit of money from it, haven't you?" The question hit like a slap. "Money?" I blinked. I don't know, love. There's a little coming in, I suppose." He smiled, but it wasn't the smile I remembered. "Good. That's really good. I'm proud of you, Mom." We sat in silence for a while. He asked small questions about my management, my deals, my audience. Questions that felt less like care and more like calculation. And for the first time I saw it, that hunger behind his eyes. Not for love. For opportunity. When we walked home, he hugged me at the door. "We'll talk again soon, yeah?" he said. I smiled faintly. "Of course, love." But as he walked away, my heart whispered, "He's not really back, he's just circling." The next few days, Daniel kept showing up, flowers one day, takeaway the next. He'd sit on the sofa, pretending to listen to my stories, but his eyes always drifted to my phone, my emails, the stack of letters from sponsors on the table. "You've become a bit of a celebrity, Mom," he'd say, half smiling. "You'll need someone to help manage all this." I brushed it off at first. Maybe he was just trying to reconnect. Maybe I was being paranoid. But one afternoon, I came home from the studio to find him sitting at my desk, my laptop open. "Oh, hey, Mom," he said quickly, closing the screen. "Was just checking your Wi-Fi, it kept dropping." His voice was light, but his hands were shaking. Later that night, curiosity got the better of me. I opened the laptop and froze. My emails were open, but not the usual inbox. He'd been in my contracts folder. There were drafts of messages to my agent, details of payment transfers, brand deals, even my bank statements. My stomach twisted. The next morning, I tried to act normal. "Daniel, love, if you ever need money, you can just ask," I said gently. He looked at me, offended. "It's not about money, Mom. I'm trying to protect you. People out there will take advantage of you." But his voice cracked on protect. That night I couldn't sleep. His words echoed in my head, blending with old memories. The time he sold his dad's watch, the years of excuses, the promises that never lasted. And just as I was drifting off, my phone buzzed. A message from my agent. "Linda, did you ask your son to contact us about your contract details?" My heart went cold. I didn't sleep that night. I just sat in the dark, staring at the message from my agent. My chest ached in that old familiar way, the kind of ache I thought I'd left behind when he came back. By morning, I knew what I had to do. When Daniel arrived, I didn't offer him tea. He noticed straight away. "You all right, Mom?" he asked, setting down his bag. I looked him dead in the eye. "Why did you message my agent?" He froze. "What? Don't lie to me, Daniel." "She told me. You asked about my contract, didn't you?" He sighed, rubbed his face. "Mom, it's not like that. I just wanted to understand how it all works. You're new to this world. Don't patronize me." I snapped. The words came out sharper than I intended, but I didn't stop. You weren't here when I was struggling to eat, Daniel. You didn't care when I couldn't pay rent. Now that people know my name, suddenly you remember me. His jaw tightened. It's not about that. I just thought maybe we could do this together. You and me. I could help manage things, take some pressure off. Manage? I laughed bitterly. You mean control? Silence fell between us, heavy and cold. Finally, he whispered, I made mistakes, Mom, but I'm trying to fix them. I looked at him, really looked. His face, older but still my boy. Yet all I could see was the distance he'd built, brick by brick, now too thick to break. I don't need you to fix anything, I said quietly. I just wanted you to love me. He didn't reply. He just grabbed his coat and walked out again. But this time I didn't follow. The door shut with a soft click, but it echoed through the house like thunder. I stood there for a long time, staring at the space he'd just left. It was all happening again. The same silence, the same ache, only louder this time because I dared to hope. I sank onto the sofa, my hands shaking, the tears hot and fast. I wanted to call someone, anyone. But who do you call when the person you need is the one who just walked away? So I did what I always did. I talked to my camera. It wasn't planned. I just pressed record and started speaking. They tell you forgiveness heals, I said, voice trembling. But what if the one you forgive just breaks you all over again? I spoke for 10 minutes straight. Raw, unfiltered, crying halfway through, no makeup, no script. When I finished, I wiped my face and almost deleted it. But then I thought maybe someone out there needs to hear this. So I posted it. By morning, it had over 2 million views. People called it the most honest video on the internet. My inbox flooded, talk shows, interviews, charities asking me to speak. My pain had turned into power again. But as I scrolled through the comments, one froze me. Username: Daniel Dawson 94. He'd written, "You made me look like a monster, Mom." My heart stopped. Thousands had replied to him, some defending me, others attacking him. The story was out now, not just my story but ours. The phone rang again. My agent's voice came through, worried. "Linda, love, you're trending everywhere. But it's getting ugly. You need to see what's on Twitter." And when I did, my whole world shifted. By midday, my phone was a storm. Notifications pinging faster than I could breathe. Hashtags, headlines, videos stitched with my face and Daniel's side by side. Hashtag poor Daniel, one tag read. Another said, hashtag manipulative mom. I scrolled through trembling fingers, reading words that didn't even sound real. Someone had uploaded a video of Daniel crying, sitting in his flat, voice breaking as he said, "She's making money off my pain. I just wanted to reconnect." Millions watched. The comments were brutal. Fame changed her. She's using her son's trauma for clout. Cancel the fake mom. I felt my chest tighten. I couldn't breathe. The same strangers who'd lifted me up were now tearing me down. Overnight, I'd gone from mum of the internet to monster mom. My agent called again. "Linda, love, don't say a word. Not online. Let it calm down." But how could I stay silent when lies were spreading like wildfire? I opened my laptop, ready to post a reply, but then I stopped. I stared at Daniel's face on the screen, red-eyed and hurting. My son. My baby. No matter what he'd said, I couldn't drag him through more hate. So I closed it. Sat there in silence as my world unraveled again. This time in front of millions. Later that night, I turned off every device. The quiet felt heavy but honest. Just me, the ticking clock, and my thoughts. And somewhere in that stillness, I realized something heartbreaking. I wasn't angry anymore. Just tired. But the world wasn't done yet. Because the next morning, I woke up to a knock on the door. And standing there wasn't Daniel, it was a reporter, holding a photo that changed everything. The woman at the door looked apologetic, clutching a folder and a camera bag. "Mrs. Dawson? I'm sorry to bother you, love, but I think you need to see this." Her voice was gentle, the kind people use before breaking bad news. I hesitated, then nodded her inside. She sat at my table, opened the folder and slid a photograph across to me. This was taken outside a betting shop in Camden 2 weeks ago. I stared at it. Daniel, my Daniel, looking thinner, his face pale and drawn. He was talking to a man I didn't recognize, but what caught my eye was the envelope in his hand. The reporter sighed. "He's been in a bit of trouble. Owed some money. A lot of money. My throat went dry. What are you saying? Word is, he borrowed from people he shouldn't have. When your video blew up, they told him to find a way to pay it back. That's why he reached out. I'm sorry, Linda. He wasn't trying to fix things. He was trying to save himself. It felt like the air had been punched out of me. I couldn't speak, couldn't move. My mind replayed every smile, every, "I'm proud of you, Mom," every visit, and now it all looked different. The reporter placed a card on the table. I didn't want to print this without giving you a chance to respond, but others will. You should know what's coming. When she left, I sat staring at the photo, my hands shaking so hard I nearly dropped it. My heart broke all over again, not because of the lie, but because even in his worst moment, my son had still turned to me. He just didn't know how to love me right. I didn't sleep that night. The photo sat on my table, lit by the dim glow of a street lamp through the curtain. I must have stared at it for hours. Daniel's tired eyes, the envelope, the stranger beside him. Everything made sense now, and yet nothing did. He wasn't cruel. He was desperate, and somehow that made it hurt even more. By dawn, I'd made my decision. I brewed a cup of tea, brushed my hair, and sat in front of the same camera that had started it all. No makeup this time. No lighting. Just me. When I hit record, my voice was steady. This isn't about who's right or wrong, I began. It's about understanding why people hurt the ones they love. Sometimes they're not evil, they're just lost. I paused, letting the words breathe. My son isn't a villain. He's my boy. He made mistakes and so did I. I won't feed the hate that's been growing online. I just hope he finds peace, and maybe one day forgiveness. Tears slipped down my cheeks, but I didn't stop. We all crave love, but sometimes we chase it in the wrong ways. I'm guilty of that too, chasing attention when I should have chased healing. When I uploaded the video, I turned my phone face down and walked out into the cold London air. The city was waking up, buses, fog, laughter in the distance. For the first time in weeks, I felt light, empty but free. Hours later, I returned home to hundreds of messages. Not hate this time, love. People thanking me for my honesty, my grace. But one message stood out. A simple text. Mom, I saw your video. Can we start over? We agreed to meet at the same cafe where everything had begun. The tiny one with the fairy lights and jazz humming softly in the background. When I arrived, he was already there, sitting at the same table I'd once read my story from. Only this time his head was bowed, his hands clasped tight around a cup gone cold. Hey, Mom, he said quietly when I sat down. His voice was softer now, no defensiveness, no performance. Just exhaustion. You look well, I said, smiling faintly. He chuckled bitterly. You always say that, even when I'm falling apart. For a moment, neither of us spoke. Then I reached across the table, resting my hand over his. He didn't pull away. I know why you did it, I said. The money, the lies. I get it now. You were scared. His eyes glistened. I didn't mean to hurt you, Mom. I didn't know how to ask for help without feeling small. I nodded slowly. That's what pride does, love. It keeps us lonely. He took a shaky breath. They've been calling me the people I owe. But I'm done running. I'll face it. I just needed to see you first. I squeezed his hand tighter. You don't need to fix it all overnight. Just be honest. That's all I ever wanted. He wiped his eyes, then whispered, You still love me after everything? I smiled, tears blurring the lights behind him. Always have. Always will. For the first time in years, we didn't need words. Just silence, soft, human, and finally whole. But as we sat there, I noticed a camera flash outside the window. And I knew the world wasn't done watching our story yet. The photo hit the internet within hours. Me and Daniel, hands clasped across the cafe table, faces soft, eyes red. A picture so intimate it almost didn't look real. But it was. The caption read, The viral mom reunites with her son. Forgiveness or publicity stunt? By noon it was everywhere. Talk shows, tabloids, Twitter threads dissecting every pixel of our expressions. Look at her smile, so calculated. He's using her again. They're faking it for clout. The noise came back, louder than ever, but this time I didn't hide. Daniel came over, phone in hand, guilt all over his face. I swear, Mom, I didn't know anyone took it. I nodded that I believe you. And I did. Because for once, there was no spin in his eyes, just shame and truth. We sat on the sofa, scrolling through the madness. People arguing, defending, accusing, turning our pain into entertainment again. But something had shifted. Instead of crying, I laughed softly. We've gone viral again, love, I said. He looked at me confused. And you're not angry? No, I whispered. Because for the first time, it's not breaking me. They can say what they want, we know what's real. He smiled faintly. You've changed, Mom. I leaned back, sipping my tea. No, love. I've just stopped letting strangers decide my story. I felt like a mom again.